on behalf of Hines and our partners APG and Dune, I want to welcome you to the unveiling of South Station Tower. I've been asked why this is called an unveiling and not an opening, and it speaks to the magnitude of what this day means to all of us. This project is 27 years in the making, and it's a shining example of what is possible through public-private partnership and through the hard work and resilience of thousands of people. I want to take a moment to honor one of those people, our senior construction manager, Jim Gutman, who unexpectedly passed away in May. Jim was a mentor, he was a friend, and he was an eternal optimist. He loved this project, and he never gave up on it. He inspired our team to keep moving forward. We miss him every day, and we dedicate this project to him. I know how proud he would be of the project and where it stands today, but most importantly, how proud he would be of our team. Our Hines team has endured tremendous obstacles over the last 6 years, but overcoming those challenges makes today even more special. South Station Tower is a transformative development that redefines what it means to live, work, and connect in the heart of Boston. Beyond its architectural elegance and its engineering innovation, it represents a lasting investment in Boston's future, creating thousands of jobs, strengthening our public transit, and contributing to the city's cultural and economic vitality. It's improving the commuting experience for all Bostonians, and it's attracting forward-looking companies like Jones Day, FM, Citadel, and many more to come. This project has been shaped by extraordinary partnerships, and I want to recognize the City of Boston and the MBTA for their collaboration, Suffolk Construction and John Fish for their expertise and their excellent execution on what has to be one of the most complicated projects in North America. The Marriott and Ritz-Carlton brand for elevating the residential experience. I'd also like to thank CBRE for their partnership in navigating the ups and downs of the Boston market. And I have to say, office is back. We are seeing the momentum in the market and thrilled about the activity. I want to thank the collaborative companies for their leadership in the Boston residential space, Jeffrey Beers for their sophisticated interiors, and OJB Landscape Architecture for creating an urban oasis even in the midst of a rainstorm. I also want to thank Kendall Heaton for their diligence and persistence and their skill. Finally, I want to recognize Fred Clarke and partners, and specifically Fred Clarke. Fred is a visionary, and his vision has been foundational to this project since the very beginning. Over the past 40 years, Hines and Fred Clarke have partnered on more than 20 major projects, shaping 20 million square feet across the globe. Of course, I think this is the best one yet. Fred, thank you for your leadership and for your friendship and for helping us shape this next chapter in Boston's skyline.
It is funny because I'll let the teleprompter show up, but I was just thinking, when the project began, I was usually the youngest person in the room. Today, I think I'm the oldest person in the room, or among the oldest, which is a good thing. It's a pleasure to be here, and Sarah, thank you so much for the introduction. As Sarah mentioned, it's a 27-year history. It's a history that can be seen, I think, in layers or chapters, and by virtue of the fact that it has lasted so long, and it's rare in an architect's career, it's a project that was able to keep being refined and made more and more responsive to culture, to society, to the values of the city and the values of the client developers. Essentially, this was a three-part story in 27 years. At one time, it was a taller building. The FAA did not agree with us on the height of the building, so one of the first and most interesting moments was when we had to lower, in Cairo's room, remember some of these, lower the height of the building. The next chapter was the introduction of residential. And it became a truly mixed-use tower. In many ways, a city within a city. And frankly, honestly, at that moment, we were able to really think about how one weaves together both office and residential use patterns. And among the things that evolved from that are this beautiful garden on the outside. So, as I say, the building kept refining, it kept maturing, and it kept getting better and better and better. The current chapter, the one that we're in right now, which is really all about completion. This is really the hard work of someone who rarely gets mentioned. That's Tommy Craig, and who is a very close friend of mine and someone whose energy and perspicacity makes these kinds of buildings happen. So, Tommy, I really do want to make special mention of you. And you know, when a project spans 3 decades, it has the opportunity and the obligation to be better, frankly, to absorb, adjust, and reflect the best of evolving societal issues. The architecture itself was continually refined and honed and became clear and I hope iconic. It's presumptuous of me to say that, but I hope it becomes that. But our team also would not have been as successful as it has been without the leadership of Graham Banks, who is here somewhere, and most of the people in the room know him. Sarah mentioned Kendall Heaton, who were responsible for making all of this come together technically. OJB, the landscape architects responsible for the beautiful garden. And then finally, let me just I'll go a little bit off script because this is very important to me. It's also a moment to remember Jerry Hines and Caesar Pelli. Without Jerry and Caesar's vision, this probably would not have happened. Jerry and Caesar were friends, they were colleagues, and they were very, very much almost the same person in terms of their values. So with Jerry and Caesar's guidance, again, going all the way back almost 3 decades, the building you see today could not have become the building that it is without their input. Finally, let me just say that, and again, I'm going to go a little bit off script. I think that time has dealt us a very good hand. And it's not always true. Sometimes when buildings mature and take a while to get done, they tend to get denatured. They tend to lose their soul and their vibrancy. This project got better and better and better over time. In fact, it grew a soul. It grew a soul that really makes it part of a city, that makes it a city within a city, and becomes a place that one not only lives and works, but actually commutes through on a daily basis. And that ability to weave oneself into the real fiber and tissue of a city like Boston is incredibly, incredibly important. So thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoy the building. I want to also thank my friend Cairo Shen of the planning department. They put up with us for a long time as well. And the city of Boston has been a great, great colleague and collaborator in all of this. So thank you. And let me now also introduce John Fish.
Good afternoon. I was standing there listening to Fred, and in our world, Fred is a god. And to hear his humility, okay, and his deep expression of gratitude for the partnership that he's had with Hines and everybody else involved over the many, many decades, it's just very, very humbling. But I want to call your attention to just a couple things that you probably wouldn't point out if you didn't see them. And it's Fred Pelli. If you're looking back at me, you'll see marble. It's not just marble, it's book-matched marble. It's throughout this entire building where you see different joints and the marble looks like was always sort of cut right off the same slab. That never happens in our business, but it happens with the Hines organization and Caesar Play, the Pelly Group. The ceiling, those are glass leaves. Those glass leaves were designed and laid out using laser scanners to the 1 centimeter laid out here. We never see that in our industry. What I'm pointing out is with Fred Clarke, we have built probably the most magnificent building ever seen in the city of Boston. I'd like to give the Hines and Fred Clarke a round of applause. I'd also like to thank Mayor Michelle Wu. I saw her, and her administration. I'll never forget, with Charlie Baker, we sat there with a sort of a ribbon cutting ceremony to kick the job off, and she looked over to me and said, please let me know what we can do to support this project. It is so important to the heartbeat of our community here and our administration, and she lived up to every bit of it. And I just want to say, over a 5-year build, the Boston Fire Department, you never hear their name in a sort of a speech like this, the Boston Police Department, Inspectional Services Department, they were incredible working with us and the state. And for me, I'm humbled and grateful to the city of Boston and all those agencies. The governor, Governor Healy and her staff, as you know, this was a city and a state interconnecting point from a construction point of view. They couldn't have been more helpful and supportive to make this job a reality for our community. And if it didn't happen, that sort of alignment, we wouldn't be standing here today. And my hat's off to the governor and her administration, especially a gentleman by the name of Phil Ling. Phil Ling, as you know, is the MBTA. These communities done a tremendous turnaround here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And the turnaround began right here at South Station Tower. 80,000 people a day that traverse this particular site, and it was done in a very, very safe fashion. I also want to acknowledge, I mentioned Jeff and your family. I want to thank you for the opportunity to our family. Sarah, I want to thank you. And Tommy, I want to thank you. You stole my thunder a little bit. You're the brightest, most competent construction professional I've ever worked with in my entire 40-year career. And I would say to the Hines family, this building would never got built without Tommy and Jim Gutman. Jerry Lee is... I don't want to forget Jerry Lee. Jerry Lee is a longtime Hines family member, and Jerry's not with us today, but Jerry was instrumental in our organization involvement in this job, and I want to thank him. Lastly, I want to thank the construction team. I want to thank Jeff Govea, who's our president in the Northeast region, along with Pat Lucy, who's now taking over Jeff's job. I want to thank Jeff Wiffitt, who's just the stalwart of construction in the city of Boston, who led this entire effort. I want to thank Rick Pielli. And Tommy pulled me aside before I got up here and he said, do me a favor, please acknowledge Ronnie Thompson. He's the best superintendent I've ever worked with. So Ronnie Thompson, congratulations to you. South Station is one of the most complex, difficult projects in Boston's history. It is also the longest running project Suffolk has ever constructed. We interviewed in 2016. We started pre-construction in 2018, we broke ground in 2020, and now we're here in 2025. Not to mention COVID in 2020. Our construction crews never went home, and they never had a day off. South Station Tower never slept, even during a worldwide pandemic. Every great city tells a unique story through its skyline. Today, Boston adds a powerful new chapter. This tower is so much more than just steel, glass, and concrete. It's a symbol of vision, innovation, and determination. and is a testament to everyone who made it possible. Today, Boston's skyline meets its story, and its story is just beginning. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and thank you all for joining us today to celebrate a milestone project for both Hines and the City of Boston. Today, we gather not only to mark the completion of an iconic development, but also to recognize a turning point for our industry and this city. The market has spoken. After a period of recalibration, the cycle has found its bottom. We now stand at the beginning of a new era for office and mixed-use development. South Station is living proof. The next cycle of growth has arrived, underpinned by real demand, resilient fundamentals, and shared ambition. This landmark has witnessed generations of transformation, and together we have reimagined its future while honoring its legacy. We do not realize projects of this magnitude alone. On behalf of Hines, I extend our deep appreciation to our partner APG and Steve Hazen, as well as Dune Capital and Dan Neidig. Our gratitude also goes to Mayor Wu and her leadership team, whose collaboration and commitment have been instrumental in making this vision a reality. We applaud your resolve to revitalize downtown Boston, and it has been our privilege to work alongside you. This transformation is about more than architecture. South Station Tower is now a dynamic mixed-use destination, iconic in design and equipped to evolve for generations to come. The Sky Park, with its mature trees and local plantings, provides a vibrant, accessible space for the community and a distinctive amenity for our Ritz-Carlton residents. At Hines, our enduring commitment to excellence continues, guided by the legacy established nearly 70 years ago. This project has elevated expectations around quality, sustainability, and the resident experience, setting a new benchmark in Boston. From architectural distinction to urban integration, South Station Tower exemplifies what is possible when great cities and trusted partners act boldly, especially when the market signals it is time to build. For years, industry conversations have centered on uncertainty, the impacts of remote work, shifting demand, and questions about the future of urban environments. What we see today is unmistakable. The inflection point has been reached. There is renewed demand for high-quality, integrated environments that enable people to work, live, and connect at the heart of the city. With the market cycle at its trough, momentum for office and mixed-use resurgence is clear. Projects like South Station Tower and our continued investments in Alewife, Alston, and beyond exemplify the opportunity that comes when we answer the market with conviction and vision. This brings me to our core takeaway. Now is the time to be bold. The market has reset, and the next cycle is underway. The world remains significantly underdeveloped relative to its long-term needs. It is our responsibility to build when the fundamentals support it, to deliver high-quality projects that meet the demands of our cities, our partners, and the generations that follow. We must seize the opportunities before us. These are the times that define great cities and great investors alike. As we celebrate this accomplishment, we are inspired to help shape the next generation of urban environments, places that foster connection, drive progress, and create enduring value. This moment honors what we have achieved together and affirms our confidence in the new cycle of opportunity we now embrace. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce someone whose vision, collaboration, and leadership have been essential to this project and to Boston. Mayor Wu. Mayor Wu, thank you for your steadfast partnership and for championing. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and congratulations and thank you to each and every person whose hands and heart and years have contributed to this incredible addition to our skyline, and what a testament to what Boston is made of, that at the transit hub that welcomes people from all around the world, we also have created a new set of homes and activity and investments to keep driving our city forward into the future. So thank you so much for all that you have done for our city and all that we are continuing to partner with you on. In real estate, as in government, when you are trying to move forward big projects in complicated times, you have to have the right mix of patience and impatience in the right combination. And certainly everyone at Hines and partners at APG and Dune, Phil Lang and the MBTA, Fred Clarke and partners, and all of the architects and engineers, Suffolk Construction, everyone who's been involved at the city and the state level have had a lot of patience, both with the cycles that this project has made it through, and also with the sheer complexity of coordination that was required to do a project of this magnitude on this site. But you've also had a great deal of impatience in exactly the way that I love to see. Impatience with anything but the best, from just the exquisite details everywhere, certainly in the residential homes that have been constructed, but also one of my favorite moments over the summer was walking around downtown and then taking an impromptu dip into South Station with my family and watching the look on my kids' faces as we walked out onto the platform and they looked up and saw the incredible archways there that I've learned now are also a feat of engineering with all of the structural supports hidden behind them. So thank you for taking the time not just to create something new, but to create something beautiful and to create something lasting and important. This tower reflects one of the things I love most about our city, that world-class artists and architects and urban planners come to Boston to act on their big ideas. And my team at the city is driving hard every day to fight for Boston to be a home for everyone. I'm so proud of the work that we have moved forward over the last 4 years. Very excited that we'll have a few more years to be able to keep moving that forward. And I want to thank those who give their hearts to public service at the state level, and particularly at the city level every day. I'm joined here today by my Chief of Staff, Tiffany Chu, as well as our Chief of Planning, Kairos Shen, and members of our team. So thank you so much for all that you do. The best colleagues in the world. Hines has also been an incredible supporter of our Boston Public Art Triennial, the city's first free citywide exhibition of public art, and South Station Tower is weaving creativity into the fabric of our daily lives. This is a trailblazing project, a national example for how cities can use air rights to bring new life and space downtown. And it's a striking symbol of Boston's strength and ingenuity, made possible by the remarkable collaboration and commitment of our partners. This is also a crucial piece in the puzzle of a revitalized, prosperous, post-pandemic downtown. And that puzzle is getting filled in every day. Nearly 20 companies have now settled or are moving into downtown over the last few years since the pandemic, bringing 9,000 new jobs. Over the last 2.5 years, in partnership with the Downtown Business Alliance, Boston has cut the downtown retail vacancy rate nearly in half and added dozens of small retail businesses, bringing more people to our streets and more life to the heart of our city. Last week, we passed a new downtown zoning plan to unlock even more housing and possibility while protecting our historic downtown core. And there are nearly 1,000 homes in the pipeline from our office to residential conversion program. We're so excited that even more buildings will now be revitalized, bringing down the commercial vacancy rate, but also creating that much needed housing. Now, South Station Tower is going to bring even more families, more businesses, and more visitors downtown. This building is a testament to our city's mission of making Boston a home for everyone. And last week, we broke ground on 110 new affordable homes that will be built on top of a state-of-the-art new library in Chinatown. Today, we're celebrating new offices and retail and housing built on top of an expanded bus and train station. Home means access to education and community, access to quality transportation, access to a thriving economy. South Station Tower helps us build a downtown that's home for everyone. Families planting their roots downtown and in our city, businesses launching and expanding, residents relaxing on the weekends, and visitors from all over the world here to enjoy our great city. From the African Meeting House to the Old North Church, our past is woven into every corner of Boston, especially downtown. You can hear it in the stories told on our sidewalks and in our streets every day. But we're also a city in motion, a place where history and progress meet. South Station Tower stands right at that intersection. It links the Boston we teach our kids about, the birthplace of independence, with the Boston we're building for them today, a global hub for talent, innovation, and opportunity. So thank you again to all of the incredible partners who make this tower, who have made this tower what it is, and who continue to make our city who we are. Congratulations.